Several years ago, it occurred to me in reflecting over my life that a lot of times we attribute things to people. We assume that people didn't see, they didn't recognize, they didn't help us. They didn't show up when we were expecting or hoping that they would show up, or they just didn't see something that we were trying to tell them. And I've learned to look at that differently. I really believe now, after all these years, that it's a spiritual thing. I really believe that in times when they didn't hear us, they didn't listen. God may have had their eyes veiled, or the enemy might have been blocking them from getting that knowledge. Or if they didn't show up for us, maybe God was refining us. Maybe it had nothing to do with them. Maybe it was God orchestrating the steps in your life. So many times I used to look back and say, well, how come they didn't see this? I don't understand. Or, how come I didn't get any help? And, I thought it's like everything, the unseen world is much more interactive with us than we realize. And I believe between the enemy and God, there are spiritual forces that are in play, and these spiritual forces orchestrate or block or unblock our steps. So when you're looking at somebody else and saying, how come you didn't see this, or how come you didn't intervene? Don't blame them, because it may not necessarily be them. Maybe in some cases, I'm not speaking for all cases, but I think a lot of times it's God who is ordaining our steps in life. Even where we move, where we live, can you think of a time where you almost, or you really thought you were going to get a certain apartment, or you were going to move to a certain state, and the job was a slam dunk and you didn't get that job? Angels also can be orchestrating our steps, because the steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord. So a lot of things that happen to us and around us in life are actually God orchestrating our steps, or it can be the enemy delaying a blessing or blocking a blessing, but God sees that and God knows. And God is coming very shortly to right the wrongs and balance the scales and anoint his people. So I just wanted to shed a different perspective on that.